Did you see anything else about that Chiefs game that you could be able to elaborate on as far as what we can be able to do better as far as eliminating some of the errors?
Well, that's the errors, of course, the penalties, of course, for one thing. But the thing that really got to me more than anything else was the lack of finishing. Finishing plays, finishing drives, playing to the whistle. That seems to be not happening like it used to me. They're not playing a full game. They're not playing full plays. And a lot of guys, and I'm trying to remember his name, Vaccaro kind of hinted at it in the post-game show, that a lot of guys were just not putting forth the effort. And of course, he won't call names. He won't say it in the media. But he is, he did express his frustration, which I'm sure is coming out in the locker room and maybe from some coaches as well. That there are just some guys on that team who are not really doing their jobs and not doing it to the best of their ability. As some team. That's definitely the way it looks to me. That a lot of guys are just not really, really playing all out.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny was pretty upset. And I think what he said, what I appreciated first of all.
It wasn't pretty, but the Chiefs get a win as they beat the Saints.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. But what I appreciated about what Vaccaro did was he took more of the leadership role this particular week. Remember, when they won the game, he said on Monday, the defense, we don't need to take off. We need to come back in. We need to work. And he took the leadership role to be able to state the facts that what was going on the field in Kansas City should not happen, especially from some of the veteran leadership that we supposedly have in the building, right? I'm still kind of wondering what's happening with Cam Jordan. I mean, say that again. Jarvis Bird. Yeah, Jarvis Bird.
Jarvis Bird. And unfortunately, guys, the Saints free agent acquisitions of Krewe, Laurinaitis. I don't know what's going on with Cam, and I know he gets double teamed a lot, and
it doesn't matter. Yeah, he wasn't getting double teamed that much, man, for him not to be effective.
And I'm just giving you the excuses I hear from the Who Dat Nation and Jarvis Bird. The veterans have not worked out for this defense, and that is the tail, the tall tale of the historical problem lately with the Saints. Their veterans have not worked out. I don't know.
I will say this about Cam, Professor. I'll say this about Cam is he did tweet out before that Chiefs game. It was a meme-like photo, essentially saying he watched the tape back from that Carolina game, and he kept on telling himself in the film room, Cam, you should have had that sack. You got to do better. I don't know what it is. I was actually talking about it here the other day, was that when you pay a man $60 million, you expect him to be in double-digit sacks all year, every year. Right now, through 6 games, he's got 1 sack on the season. There's an issue there. You can come up with a lot of different excuses for him. You can say he's double-teamed. You can say, well, he doesn't have anybody on the other side to really help apply pressure. There's got to be a point where you just hold guys accountable, kind of like Kenny Vaccaro did. Got to hold the guys accountable. And what Cam did, I think, is a good thing, to be able to sit back, watch the tape, and be like, I did miss a lot. To say, I did miss a lot of sacks. I missed a lot of tackles. I messed up. I have to be better. That's fine. The frustrating part for all Saints fans is we keep hearing this year in and year out, not by Cam, not by Kenny, but from the coaching staff as a whole or from the defense as a whole, and nothing gets better.
Brendan, I agree with you, Brendan, and it's frustrating because, okay, here's the point, and I think the professional, Remy, you alluded to it earlier, as well as you, Professor, when it comes to the heart side, right? I look back and NFL Network did a write-up on the Dome Patrol today. Great article on NFL.com about the Dome Patrol. Ricky Jackson, Vaughn Johnson, Sam Mills, Pat Swilling, right? One of the greatest linebacking corps ever to play in the National Football League. Now, the thing about those guys is that when it came down to somebody needing to make a play at a crucial time, they had enough heart to try to make a play. I don't see in this defensive squad over the past couple of years that we have guys who want to make the play. Am I wrong? I mean, like you say, if we're paying this guy $60 million a year, I'm expecting this guy every now and then to try to bull somebody over. I don't see that happening with him. Do you? He only had one tackle the whole game, and we're paying him $60 million.
Kyle, I'm gonna say something, and Brendan, and even I'm sitting here in the office with my son James sitting next to me. Millennials don't take this personal. I'm just gonna say it. You have people playing football now that are in it for the money, and they, it's about money, and a lot of times flowing. And not all. I would never say all, because that would be an unfair statement. But when you look overall, not just at the Saints, just in general at the play, and I was so glad that Michael Smith of His and Her on ESPN said it. Football is a diluted product now.
You've been saying that for years.
Where teams are up 27-10, and all of a sudden in the fourth quarter they come back, like what happened to the Falcons, or the Saints up 21-0, and the Panthers come back on them. And all of the football games now in the fourth quarter, they may not be able to do anything for 3 quarters, but all of a sudden you get about 30 points scored in 1 quarter. You begin to look at the product with a little different look, because is the game this way? And when I heard the report also on ESPN of the official that told his story of why he got fired for officiating games and fixing it in line with the Vegas spread, I'll be honest with you, I don't look at football the same way as probably you guys anymore. Some of the games, I'm not after the Saints games, and even the Saints games, I don't even be interested, because the product has become so diluted from the days, Remy and Kyle, of which we grew up watching football, that now you have James and Brendan's generation that I think some of these guys, I would never say all, but a lot of them don't understand, what is required. And you're making young men at 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, multi-millionaires. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, if they fully grasp and understand the concept of why they've been fortunate enough to play in the NFL to the degree they have the heart. And it's refreshing to have Kenny Vaccaro, do what he's doing and growing up and saying, look, we got to spend more time. I do not feel that NFL players are spending the extra amount of mileage and time after hours going over film and studying. I think they're more on social media and tweeting, and it has become a sport now where everybody's worried about their brand.
Right.
That's just my opinion. From watching football now for 42 years, to see the transition of the NFL athlete, and what has come out as of lately, and it has been stated on ESPN. I have been saying it for years. Michael Smith said it on a national show. NFL football has become corrupt. It has become diluted, and it is drawing lack of people losing interest because they've put the product in front of people with games on Monday, Thursdays, Sunday nights, even a Wednesday night game, and it's become oversaturated, and the ratings are beginning to go down on it. And it's because the product has become diluted.
Okay. Well, I think Michael Smith heard you say that 2 or 3 years ago, and he's just now coming out and saying it. And I know he listens to our podcast, so I said it. So
I don't know about all that.
yeah, you said it a long time ago. But anyway, guys, man, I'm just kind of, when I'm thinking about this now, I'm kind of frustrated because I'm looking at the stats, and the stats don't lie. When Nate Stupor is our leading tackler in a game, I think we have a problem. 8 tackles combined for Nate, 7 solo tackles. The next person that was even close to him for solo tackles was Kenny Vaccaro. Then Craig Robertson. Then Darryl Tapp. Now, these 2 of those guys are not even three of those guys are not even starters. Weren't even starters at the beginning of the year. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ram.
No, I was just saying they're replacement.
Replacement guys. Then you have Von Bell, Jarris Byrd, Tyler Davidson, which has been a ghost, really a ghost. I thought he was going to be more of an impact player. He's been a ghost the past three weeks. I know one of those games, I believe he was out, but I mean, come on, man. I mean, this defensive, our defensive, but I know, Professor, our defensive line has to be better than what they are. We cannot expect Ken Crawley to do, God bless the kid, to be one-on-one with their fastest 4.2 speed wide receiver without you putting any pressure on a guy like Alex Smith. Alex Smith he had a clean jersey that whole game. I don't think there was probably 2 or 3 pressures that he got the whole game. So
but do the Saints
that's
have
a problem.
5 sacks for the year? How many sacks do the Saints have for the year? I don't think they got about 4 or 5.
I don't know. Brendan, do you know?
I know most of them were against Cam.
No idea off the top of my head.
Yeah, well, I'll find out later. All right, guys.
Most of them were against Cam Newton.
Yeah. But and one last point. Mark Ingram. Oh, why are you carrying the ball in one arm loosely going into the teeth of the defense? He's not protecting the ball. He did it in Seattle a few years ago and cost us part of that game. He did it in preseason twice, and he still is carrying the ball the same way. Coach Regaley did a excellent breakdown on the 2 turnovers, the Breeze turnover, as well as the Mark Ingram fumble on sportsnola.com. You've got to see his analysis. Great analysis by Coach. Hopefully he could be able to come on tonight. He was coming from a volleyball tournament for his niece tonight. But I'm telling you guys, it's the coaching. Is it getting through? Is it really making an impact on these guys? We shouldn't have a guy like Cam Jordan not really being a factor at all in any of these games as much as he's being paid. Jarris Byrd, please find a way. I don't care if you put Brian Dixon in as the safety or something. Get him off the field. I don't see where he's an impact. Man, he's missing tackles. He's taking poor angles. Von Bell at his rookie level is doing the same thing he's doing. It's sad to see. In my opinion, it's sad to see. Anyone disagree, or anyone that wants to add something before we get off of this?
It's discipline. I've been saying I go back to Jimmy the Greek when he's back. This is way before Brendan, you and James were even born. This is in the 70s. There would be when he would handicap a game or analyze a game, he would put the check on which team is favored in the respective areas. He would go to the line for intangibles. And 9 times out of 10, the team that he gave the advantage in intangible, which is discipline, is the team that won those games. Intangibles are not a physical thing that you can measure. It's just a discipline thing that, is not something physical that you can take, touch, see, or feel. But it's very key in terms of play. When you look at that game, the Saints lost off of 4 plays. Mark Ingram fumble, undisciplined. Drew Brees forcing a pass or either behind or whatever, undisciplined. Penalties, undisciplined.